So let's also discuss another question. Next question, that is question 138. A victim was injured with a sharp object in the interior region of carotid cervical triangle, and what vessel was injured? So I guess you just have to remember it. That is a common carotid artery. Not everything in CROC needs to be remembered, just some things. Another point related to the carotid arteries is that um, this is a question from base, that if there is a bleeding from carotid artery, it can be pressed against the tubercle of the sixth cervical vertebra. So the sixth cervical vertebra, it has a carotid tubercle. It is very prominent, and this carotid artery, if there is bleeding, it can be pressed hard against that tubercle to stop that bleeding. So another point that you should remember, that at C6 there is carotid tubercle against which the carotid artery can be pressed to stop the bleeding if present. And at the level of C3, C4, it bifurcates. That is the common carotid artery. It bifurcates into the external carotid artery and the internal carotid artery. So don't confuse about these levels. We are going to discuss about the neck triangles, mostly which will help you maybe in your classes or mostly in your to solve the CROC questions. So this was explained to me by my teacher, so all the credits goes to him, and I'm only here to explain what he taught me. That is probably the more easier way to learn the neck triangles. So anyways, this is, you have to make a diagram, so let's draw together. So we have to draw the neck triangles. So just think that we make a cut on the posterior surface, and we take out all this area. So that would be represented by a triangle. So let's see what are the boundaries of. So posteriorly, which muscle is present? That is a trapezius muscle. So this will be your trapezius muscle, which is present posteriorly in the neck. And we just cut it half so we can take out the triangle. So what is present here? So you can imagine above is present the mandible. We just to remember the boundaries of the triangle. So above is present mandible, posteriorly there is trapezius, and below is present the clavicle. So I have labeled these three. So next, if you remember the muscles of the neck, you remember they can be suprahyoid or infrahyoid. So here is present the hyoid bone. Let's also draw the muscle. First of all, the main muscle of the neck, the sternocleidomastoid. So if you remember about the sternocleidomastoid, it is from the clavicle to the mastoid process of the temporal bone. So from clavicle, it goes all the way to the mastoid process. So that will be your sternocleidomastoid muscle. So the next muscle will be the digastric muscle. It has two bellies, the anterior and the posterior belly. It goes from the mandible and it inserts again in the mastoid process. So this is your digastric muscle, and both the bellies, they are attached to the hyoid bone. So next is the omohyoid muscle. The omo means basically your scapula. So omohyoid, that is from scapula to hyoid bone. It again has two bellies, the superior belly and inferior belly. So if you remember these muscles, you can make out all the triangle. You can just draw it and you can remember all the triangles that are present in the neck. Also, we can make the midline here. It will be more easy to divide the triangles. Okay, so let's now start with the triangles. So the submandibular triangle, that is, sub means below the mandible. So below the mandible, you can see this triangle. So this will be your submandibular triangle. You can see its boundaries. It is boundaries are mandible and the anterior and the posterior bellies of the digastric muscle. And by the way, I've changed the omohyoid muscles for it to be more connected toward the midline, so that it is easy to understand the triangle. The next triangle will be your carotid and the most important triangle. This is your carotid triangle. It is bounded by the superior belly of omohyoid, the posterior belly of digastric, and the sternocleidomastoid muscle. The next triangles are probably the omotracheal, omoclavicular, and omotrapezoid triangle. So omo means it has to be bounded by what? Omohyoid muscle. So with the omohyoid muscle and the trapezoid, it will become what? Omotrapezoid triangle. With omohyoid muscle and the trachea in the, so here trachea is present, so we can take the midline structure, and this triangle will be what? Your omotracheal triangle. Next, omoclavicular triangle, clavicle and omohyoid muscle. So this triangle will be your omoclavicular triangle. So again, very easy, the submandibular, omotracheal, omotrapezoid, omoclavicular, and the last one and the most important, that is the carotid triangle. There's also another triangle that is in the inferior angle of the submandibular triangle, that is right here. This is called your Pirogov's triangle. So let's talk about its boundaries. Its boundaries are the mylohyoid muscle, the posterior belly of the gastric muscle, and the hypoglossal nerve. Hypoglossal nerve is up above, in front by the mylohyoid muscle, and by the belly of posterior belly of the digastric muscle. This is your Pirogov triangle, and inside the Pirogov triangle you can find the lingual artery. This was asked in 2020. The lingual artery needs to be ligated, and in which triangle it can be found. The answer is what? The Pirogov triangle, and it is present in the inferior angle of the mandibular triangle. So again, next triangle, the most important one, the carotid triangle, its boundaries are often asked. So it contains a common carotid artery, and it bifurcates into external and internal carotid artery in this triangle only. And another, along with the common carotid artery, you can find the internal jugular vein. And also the vagus nerve. So these are the main triangles of the neck, its contents and the boundaries. And I hope it will help you in your classes as well as in your CROC questions. So that's it for this video, guys. See you next time.